Hey guys, Randy Kennard with Souder Station Farm. So we just got a question from Maverick on YouTube about adjusting the height of the wire for the pigs. So I don't really have a spot that I use. He's asked about like their eyes or their nose or the halfway up their front leg, and honestly I just guesstimate it every time, because if you have a big slope, I'm just gonna use my hands here correctly. If you have a big slope and they're on the downhill side of that, you can actually just have that wire a couple inches above the ground, because where they're sitting, they're in relation to the wire, their body's gonna be so much lower to the wire that their head's gonna be roughly right in line with that, wherever that wire is. Conversely, if they happen to be uphill of wherever your wire is, you need to have that wire higher, because if not, they'll just step over it if you have a little bit lower. So I kind of just bounce around. I generally go enough so that when their head is rooting under the ground, it's probably right about the top of their ears, so they're going to get hit. Because occasionally what will happen is where they'll be digging under the fence line, or they're just digging, they're eating up roots and whatever else there is underneath there, and their eyes will be covered, and they found like the mother lode of whatever's under the ground, a little grub patch or anthill or who knows what it is, and they'll be following that, and their eyes are covered, and their head will hit the wire, and they'll recognize, oh, I should probably back off because this sucks. When they're piglets, I'm a little more particular, because they just seem like they're more prone to sneaking out. As they get older, they respect the fence better, so it almost doesn't even matter. Half time it'll be 3 feet in the air, and they could walk under it if they want to. It doesn't even seem to matter. Other times it's like right next to the ground. Well, I guess I'll just take a walk over here. I mean, like, see if I can take a picture of this or show you some variation. So you can't see what I'm doing when I turn the camera, but you can see that the fence here is like 6 inches off the ground or so. And then as you come around this way, I mean, it's pretty high. Now they're on the downhill side, so I have this wire set up higher than normal. You can see one of the poles down there where it's, you're probably looking at 1.5 foot gap. Down here, maybe 18 inches or so. I mean, this is pretty shallow right here. And they can step right over that if they want to. They know where the line is, and then it kind of goes up higher. I think it just depends. Sometimes you'll see, like during feeding time, where I'll go to feed them, and they come running out, and their heads going, they just don't even see the wire, and their heads going way up over the wire, and their front shoulders will hit that wire, and they'll bounce off. This new area, well, we just put them on a new land. We put this other side over here. If you saw our last video, we're just trying to have them hammer the snot out of it so we can turn it into a field. We just got them into some new land, and actually haven't even seen the fence line. Now, initially there was a whole bunch of brush and grasses and stuff in the way, so we just kind of left it as it is. I need to get back in here and take a look at things and see how it's doing. If I turn the thing around for here. So you see, in this spot we just put them on. We just got a huge, massive downpouring, so everything's wet now. This fence is probably only 12 inches off the ground, but they're going to be on the downhill side, right? So even if they step up to that, it's still about nose, eye-ish level. Even if they root a little bit, it's still going to hit them in the head. I'll go down a little bit farther and see how it looks. And especially when you're following the contour of the ground. If you're running out in the woods, things are just going to change so dramatically. Like here where this water is, if they step down that water, I mean, really, there's a massive gap there. But ultimately, they have enough area to go that it doesn't really matter, And again, here's another great big gap where they could just kind of sneak under there. No issues whatsoever. If they want to escape, they're gone, right? But you can see where their lines are. I mean, they're pushing up to here, and they give themselves a couple feet. Same thing, it looks like down here probably. Because they've been here just a couple days, and so we're going to have to bounce pretty quick. They pushed right up pretty quick, and then they backed off. They said, Of course, as we go around the whole thing, I'm not going to go on a big adventure trek right now because I'm going to get soaking wet, and I got Mark here pretty shortly. It's going to change. Every so often, you'll come out here and you'll find where they have gone under, and you'll find like 5 feet out here where there's a huge mound of dirt where they just came under the fence because they were just following some bug or whatever they were following, something delicious in the earth. And then maybe their back hit it, and then they're back in there, they've learned. No big deal. So I'd say, just play with it. Anywhere from, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches. Hey guys, sorry, I forgot about this timer that only shuts off in 5 minutes. So I'd say for size-wise, piglets, 4 to 6 inches, you know, adult pigs, 12 to 18-ish, you know, somewhere in that neighborhood. If you have really tall pigs, you got to change it. If you have really short guinea hogs, it's going to change it. So it just depends. Just take a look at what they're doing, just see how they're reacting to it, and then just kind of adjust it. That's real quick. One reason, which I don't know if I talked about this before, that I use these fiberglass rods with these nylon insulators. In the picture there, because they're quick and fast. No matter what I want to do, they slide right up and down. You can tighten them right up. They're solid. Super fast. Because come winter, you got to pull them up. Come spring, you got to change it. As they grow, they're always adjusting. And if you get those ones that have the clips already built into them, they'll work. They're pretty good. But sometimes you just get in spots where you're splitting the difference, and they just don't really always fit. These are just putting wherever they need to go. You know, handful of times of the year, you're making a trip around the whole fence line to check it to make sure there's nothing on it, and do a little bit of fence line maintenance. It's easy just to bump them up, bump them down, whatever you're gonna do, easy peasy. So if you're starting out, just experiment. If you're just starting out, I'd probably recommend running 2 wires just to give you some confidence and kind of figure out what they're gonna do. Maybe run one 4 inches, one 6 inches, just gonna vary them about 6 inches apart. Yeah, if you're just starting out, just play with it with a couple wires, see how they react, and just to base it off what the pigs are doing. It's too easy. Hope that helps you out, and thanks for sending us your questions. Talk to you later.